He is going to score underneath the sticks. What a statement.
Has it come off his leg? It seems like it has. What a try from Stuart here, though. Captain taking it in his own hands.
It's a try for the captain.
Right hand bar, October in for the try.
It's Monuments in the second half, carried nicely. Try time.
Down the blind side for Oteniqua.
Skitterende voete deur.
Hierdie manne van Grey College as hulle opbeweeg na die kom.
And out of nowhere, try scored by Durbanville.
Oh, he's going to go all the way, will he? In the left-hand corner.
What a run by the feather. Bobby Alexander. That is phenomenal, sir. Spots a gap. Quinor on the outside centre.
Been a topsy-turvy day, particularly as far as the weather is concerned. We've had sunshine and a bit of rain, and looks like the sun is here to stay. It's been a bit confusing. I've been to the car a couple of times, put on a jersey, take off a jersey, put on boots, take off the Wellingtons, but hopefully it'll stick to pass now. We've got a game here. We've just seen the hosts give a thumping victory over Welkom Gymnasium. Helpmekaar's second side now about to play. Look out for Tongambata. He doubles up between hooker as well as on the flankers side there. He did really well the other night, sitting bench for the first team. Jordan, good boot on him, full of running. Kelvin Geldenes, he scored a couple on Monday evening. Even Mouton, he moves from the fly-half position into the fullback. So excited to see what he can bring. Looking now at Paarl Gymnasium, full of running this team was the other day. Jeez, this is a well-drilled and a well-oiled machine. Morne Skeepers, he had a big boot on him and really did well for his team. Thurlan Williams was in the mix there as well. Andries Low, looking forward to see a great game from him. And the lock forwards, they've really been thorough throughout this game. 6. It's a little bit dry now, not so wet underfoot, so let's expect some hard-hitting rugby here.
Almost just a perfect build-up to what is going to be an interesting encounter between these two proud rugby-playing schools, Helpmekaar and Paarl Gymnasium. You talk about running rugby, and we've seen throughout the day today the dominance up front, and just in the previous game that we've just witnessed now, the expansion of these back lines that we've seen, and the full use of the wings and the backs out wide in trying to get to the corner.
Just about ready to go. Remember, this is one of the last games of the second teams before we move on to the first teams to close out the day. So still plenty of rugby to be played here.
Plenty of rugby, and the boys are ready for this late encounter here at Huffy's in Pretoria. It's been a fantastic day thus far. Some encountering rugby, some one-sided rugby in some matches. But this one promises to be a mouth-watering encounter.
Captain! Captain! Captain!
Mr. Willem Swart, the man in charge of this game here. And just about ready to go is Jordan.
Advantage.
Fumble there by Paul.
Let's go, boys.
And tails are up initially here. And they know that they've got a massive challenge against him, so they really need as much positivity and go forward as possible. 6.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's just a start that they would have wanted. Get themselves going. First scrum within the first minute of the game. An opportunity for those front rowers to really impose themselves.
Crouch.
Crouch is the call.
Fine. Sit. It's available.
Happy to let that one go is Mr. Swart. Now here come Helpmekaar. Nice changing of lanes through the fullback there. Mouton, he gets involved quite early. Now the big man up front here, Westhuizen. continues to come right here. Play for Helpmekaar. Lovely little rip there. It does stay on the side of Helpmekaar. Advantage being played by Mr. Swart, and will come back just for a knock-on. Very confusing, these stripes, huh? Thank goodness we're not colourblind.
You almost have to blink a couple of times.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Just to make sure that I'm on the right path here. So, those of you perhaps unfamiliar, Paarl, they are playing from right to left. And Helpmekaar, the team from Bromfontein up in Johannesburg, they're playing from the left to the right.
Keep your elbow up.
Just a slight warning there from the referee saying the ball was available. However, I would like you scrumming up and holding the bind, and was speaking to Dupree there from Paarl. And as he gave that warning, he literally just warned Dupree to say, please make sure you hold on to the bind. You're fortunate not to get a penalty previously because the ball was available.
Yeah, and it was the second scrum within the second minute. And quite clearly that Dupree is, perhaps with his technique, is struggling. He's getting the initial hit. And from there on, he's just turning his shoulder towards inside that scrum, and it's really just collapsing it.
Be a big psychological boost for Helpmekaar. Yes, it is early days, but in knowing the mighty pack that they're up against from Paarl. Jordan looking to get the early ascendancy here for Helpmekaar. Will it hold its line? Yes, it does. And it is 3-0 in favor of Helpmekaar. Very decent start. First visit onto the opposition half, and coming away with points does well for Helpmekaar.
Warning signs as well for Paarl Gim, because that was taken between the 10 meter and the 22, and it still had some legs to go. So they'll be wary and mindful of those penalty infringements.
Andre Nel lets it hang really high. Good gather by the winger there from Helpmekaar, Gous.
Yeah, has it, turnover's good.
Looking good here for Paarl. Now, giving it some wings here. There's a huge overlap here. Just needs to go through the hands. And 5 points. Almost immediately. Good comeback here. Shajan de Jong, the person who will dot it down. It was a massive overlap. Almost a 5-on-1 at one stage there.
Let's go back to the restart and how that ball hung in the air, which allowed the winger to get there as the ball was gathered by the wing on the opposite side. And what happened there on, it was about the hustling, the forwards trying to get their hands onto that ball. Brilliant from Paarl Gim, turnover ball. From there on, it's always about the quick hands, soft hands, and it is a try.
Yeah, they really got bullied into that one corner, Helpmekaar, on that restart, you know. And then the mighty thirds, where some of us used to play back at school, you know, we're always taught about this herding mentality. So all the forwards herd into one direction, and that's almost what happened in this situation, is that pretty much everybody just hurdled into one place, leaving the rest of the field pretty much open for Paarl to take full advantage of.
Those 13 players talk a big game, don't they? That's a good strike. It sounded good.
Strike.
It's a clear warning sign from both ends that there are some capable boots here on the Spark this afternoon.
So both teams showing an eager intent to get as close to the opposite line as possible.
This is what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Bases being covered. Both teams look resolute and quite structured up front in terms of their forward packs. Here's a restart. And how will Paarl Gim do about it? Safely in his hands as Jordan put down between the 10 meter and the 22. Cooper's looking for his forwards. Here's Cooper's again. Lays it off nicely for Cobus Low, who finds his forwards, still between the 10 meter and 22. Ref playing now an advantage. A couple of Helpmekaar players who have just gone over that offside line. Play continues on the far side. Eventually he'll call them back between the 10 and the 22-meter line. Not rolling away is the call. Another opportunity for Paarl Gim to get themselves into that Helpmekaar half. That's literally where you want to play all your rugby. This is a good thump. It's a line out just on top of that 10-meter line. A good attacking part of the ground.
Line to middle, line to middle.
I'm sure they also want to see the options in terms of what can we do with that driving ball. Looking for that front jumper. It's a bit messy. Ref playing an advantage. Here come the forwards around the corner, looking to suck in those defenders.
Advantage over!
Advantage over is the call as they continue to make meters here. Paarl Gim looking for those options wide. Now there's an overlap here. Mismatch. Cuts inside. Brought down nicely between the 22 and the 5-meter line. Quick ball is required. Come the forwards charging onto that advantage line. Andri Slow in the thick of things. Lands in no man's land does the ball. They do well to recover it. There's an infringement. There's an infringement. Well done by Helpmekaar, keeping those cool heads in defense in the red zone. And in the end, coming away with a penalty to get themselves out of their half. As much as we talk about a territorial game, it's also a huge contest on the ground, quite evidently in this match in these opening 8 minutes. And how scrum-offs talk about clean ball, wanting that clean ball at the base of the ruck, or the scrum. There's a line out. Helpmekaar. Quick ball off the top. Looking for those runners in the middle of the park, and well met by a defensive line. Right on that halfway line. Looking to go blind now. There's Mulder. Looking for his forwards. Lombard in the thick of things as well. There he is again. Lombard alongside Reino Bosch. Well met in defense, right on that halfway line. Not being able to penetrate. Helpmekaar looking for options out wide. There's a bit of a fumble as well.
Tackle without the ball, tackle without the ball.
Yeah, just seemed like he went in quite slightly early into that tackle. So it'll be a penalty for Helpmekaar. Really just feeling each other, these two sides now. They've been played between the 22 and the 22. There's an opportunity to get themselves closer inside Paarl Gim's half. Dawel with that left foot. There's that Jordan Jordan. Line up for Helpmekaar. Can they get themselves a driving ball, which has been a feature throughout the day. Very lucrative for most teams, and this one's in the front, off the top. We'll look for those runners once again. There's Jordan in the thick of things. Down on that 10-meter line. Here comes the forwards. They'll set up a pod as well. So, Lombard brought down between the 10-meter and 22. Some hands in there.
Step!
Eager defensive lines from the Paarl Gim boys. Change of direction. Oosthuizen. Tangambata also in there, trying to clear things out for his scrum off. Dean Mulder looks for the right-hand side, the shorter side. Jordan quickly wrapped up, but manages to offload. Kept alive by Helpmekaar. Mbata in the thick of things as well. Offloads to Mulder, who's wrapped up quickly right on that 10-meter line. Quick ball out to the outside backs. Jacobs is in the thick of things alongside Aransa on that 10-meter line. Look to change direction now, come towards the right-hand side. Looking for runners who will be running onto that ball. But the defense of the Paarl Gim boys resolute. Danny runners from Tambombat. It's a turnover by Paarl Gim, but the ref was playing advantage. Was playing some advantage, but a good passage of play. I say good passage of play, lucky, because Paarl Gim on their side, able to keep their structure in defence.
Dangerous
Helpmekaar
around the net.
continuing to ask those
Let's get
questions.
the tackles lower.
Good to see here from Paarl Gim. Defence resolute, like you say. Just unfortunate for that tackle just above the shoulder. But in terms of the marshalling, that defensive line really standing up so far. It'll be interesting to see if Jordan is going to attempt another three-pointer here as soon as we get the oval device.
It's got that feel, doesn't it? It's going to be a contest of the boot first before the game starts opening up, perhaps in the second half.
Op die punt van die lyn.
Maybe we're just too ambitious.
Perhaps. It's day 3 here, folks, of the Barloworld Menlyn Toyota North-South Rugby Tournament hosted here at Afrikaanse Seuns Hoërskool. Plenty of rugby still to go today and a full day tomorrow as well. So do make sure that you do join us. Available on all sorts of social media platforms. Right, good interception there by Buerta.
Get out, two, get out!
Look how quickly they organize from a defensive position into an attacking one via more. This is good stuff here.
Look at that body position. Look at all that body position.
Nice!
Get as much as you can in terms of the drive and the power from the legs.
And that is a net gain there for Paarl Gim.
Line your middle, line your middle.
Fullback coming in the mountain and was just trying to keep it in field and unfortunately ran it out. So it will be a Paarl Gim ball.
Get back, get back, get back.
Fourie, the man to throw it in. Looking for the target man, Buerta. They find him successfully and immediately into a maul. In charge of it at the back is Jean Fourie. Careful not to go out there. Now here come the runners. 8th man Rousseau.
Draai dit van jou voet af.
Yeah,
Spot your body weight.
yeah, that's really, really silly that
Straight off your feet.
that good go forward ball.
Spot your body weight.
We saw elements like this in the last game that you and I did together. It was Hoërskool Nelspruit and Daneveld, where penalties in a similar position and going for the same option for that penalty here. But good to see here that Jordan's going to go for the 3 points. And now, well, line out didn't work out the first time. We've been gifted another penalty here. Let's try something new, which is always good and exciting. I mean, you're here now, you might as well try something new. So he's going to attempt to go for the 3 points just to get them in touching distance. Because what we saw in the other game is Nelspruit just felt further and further and further behind after being in a commanding position.
We talk about game control in that instant, and it all goes back to that experience we talk about. You know, a couple of occasions where you felt they could have gone for 3 points to put the game to bed. Jordan, sounded good.
It's a really good kick. It's a really good kick. On Paul's behalf, you did warn them a little bit earlier to say, geez, you know, that kick that he had before, it still had some legs on it, so beware. And he proves once again that he's able to do the job.
Warning to those loose forwards who will be eager to get their hands under the ball. With any infringement in your half, we'll go for the poles. The option is there. There's a restart from Paarl Gim.
Pinpoint accuracy, that just almost going out, and good pressure from the chasers to make sure that ball goes out and put them in another attacking position almost immediately.
You say pinpoint. It is such a big, crucial part of the game. Restart. Whether you're receiving the ball or you're kicking the ball. The height on the ball and the chasers behind that ball. Excellent from Paarl Gim.
Again, they execute the maul with precision. Advantage being played here by the referee. Now, let's see what they can do. Shrugs one off, does Strauss. Comes to the left again. Now here's the hooker, Jean Fourie. Keeps on coming. Jeez, he likes that ball, doesn't he, the halfback. He's really getting good service, is Loki van Niekerk.
Captain. Wait. Jy het 'n opsie. Penalty hierso vir offside of penalty daar vir collapse.
Easy decision, that one, yeah. For the offside, they had the option.
Interesting here now. Do Paarl Gim take the 3 points or?
No, let the kids play. Here they come. Jean Fourie. He gets his team nicely over the advantage line. Players are plenty. It's a loose head prop. Now combining with a lock forward. Just short. Here it comes once again. Now through the hands. Try. Really good stuff there. Up with the ball stands Ferdi Labaskachny.
You can almost sense a bit of trust within this Paarl Gim side. Maybe they might slightly be more familiar with each other than the other teams in the sub-festival, but they really look like a unit, understanding of what needs to be done in certain parts of the field. I've seen a couple of times wanting to stretch the field. On this occasion, turning down the 3 points and throwing all responsibility to the forwards, in which they come up with the try.
Yeah, really good stuff here. They did go for the tap and go. A little bit shorter the flanker was, but this time here, makes no mistake, Ferdi Labaskachny for his second of the game. Just skim across the face here to keep the scores at 12 points to 6. Shane, you can see he was dusted into that mud patch a couple of phases ago. Good luck to the poor hostel staffers having to clean all this kit after such a day. Lock forward did well there, did the Lucy. Janse van Vieren. Now it comes through the forwards here. Carry there but lost. Now on the short side here. Opportunity. No one to pass to for poor Mulder. Who's Geel now? They're both yellow, so I don't know who the F was saying anti-Geel. We assume we're talking about Paarl Gim. Right. Game continues and Bata goes nowhere. Comes again for left hand side. Jordan. He's well wrapped up in a tackle there. Got to be careful to bring him down safely. They do that effectively to Paarl Gim. It's Mbata again. Play is now open. There, Jordan. Trying to look for the short ball, but overruns it, does Venter. Still available. Resolute so far, the defense from Paarl Gim. Guilty party there for not rolling out. They've got an advantage, and Bata involved again. Change of direction here. Yeah, I was just about to say, Mr. Ref, anytime now. There was no advantage there.
And this is interesting as well. Again, to Helpmekaar go for the 3 points, to the try, go for the line, and get themselves into this game. I mean, we're here to play, aren't we?
Right in front of post, man.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
A bit of confusion from everybody. I mean, just kind of stood still. I mean, I had my jaw open also, just in anticipation. They're not too sure what is going on.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was attempting to go out, or it was a cross kick for the player, or in between. I don't know. It was a bit of a luck pot, huh?
Yeah.
I hope we get an opportunity to see Paarl in their defense. You would have noticed their 6. They never overcommit to the tackle. To the tackle, fan out. No use of overcommitting numbers at ruck time. And that's why they always seem to have extra players on the park there.
And the chasing line as well. It's structured.
Yeah.
Comes as a wave. And so it will be difficult to penetrate that. And those tackles, those first-time tackles, they manage them well.
Yep.
Two tacklers. Look at that.
2 tackle, everybody else moves away. Done. Right. Has a little look ahead, does Jordan. And mark called there by Morne Skeppers.
Yeah, just the only blunder or blemish they've had up until now, Helpmekaar, was just that brain freeze they had over there. Not quite sure whether to go for the poles, go for the line. Yeah, the line was the better option, so that you try go for the line. But it was that execution that let them down.
Decent clearance there by Skippers.
Here's another look at how they approach ruck time.
Very quickly to stand up and fan out almost immediately. Messi here. Happy to let play continue, Mr. Swart. Now advantage for the knock-on. We know how dangerous they can be from this position. Fortunately, a double knock will now result.
Yeah, static on that occasion was Helpmekaar, almost as if they weren't expecting the ball. And what you've seen with them, they know exactly what to play. When they're inside, they're 22. When they're inside, they're 10 meter, opting for 1 or 2 pods, and thereafter look for the long boot. On that occasion, they just looked like they were rushing to get the ball out to the wing.
Is this the first scrum of the match? I don't remember seeing a scrum. I stand to be corrected, but I 22 minutes into the game.
Schoolboy level.
Like I said, I stand to be corrected, but may well be the first scrum of the game here. Loki van Niekerk to feed.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah,
we're watching the same game. We're keeping up with the game.
Well, I hope anyway. Geez, good on them if it is. Let's see here. Loki van Niekerk.
Considering the conditions, it just gives you an image. And
it's a third scrum. Sakumbulu referee. We're not binding on the 10 meter. Remember they reset once and then please bind. Next time I bind down Amuti. Strafskop.
It's been a long day,
it's a third one. Yeah, it has been a long day.
With all sorts of weathers.
And I've had to keep the brain cells warm as well. I mean, I'm bold enough as it is, and then the weather outside is not helping. So let's see if this one is a little bit better. Solid from both teams. Good pick up then, interchange between 8 and 9. Nice run there. He needs quick ball here. He needs quick ball. Sluggish in getting out. Momentarily, Helpmekaar able to sort out their defenses. Needs to keep coming the same direction. That it does. Right. Can they get this ball out here? They keep going right. No advantage there. He'll come back with the referee.
Yeah, the intention was quite well from Paarl Gim to continue around the corner, to force those defenders to come around for Helpmekaar.
13.
Usually when that happens, you find yourself out of position and opens up those gaps.
Let's hear what he has to say
2 times, okay, same area, same player for offside. Okay, either need to lift your discipline or the next one you're going to the bin.
Right, so if it's the same player in terms of Adendorf,
offside.
You can see what the intention is. He's the shooter in the back line, but illegally so, just needs to make sure he's at the last man's feet. Now, here come Paarl, rumbling. Well stolen here by Helpmekaar. Excellent stuff.
No.
It's a strong run and strong steal by Theo van der Merwe. Does well for his side. There's that exit strategy.
Yep. Get out of jail card. That one is not pretty, but it will do.
Effective.
Yeah, effective. Double that of Helpmekaar. Sit Paarl. 12 points to 6 here in the second team game. We're nearing half time here.
What you've seen throughout the day in comparison to the teams is skill set. Those who have struggled in these sort of conditions, yes, in the morning they were slightly more difficult than they are now. As play continues, what you've seen here is 2 well-structured teams who are trying to find deficiencies in each other's defenses.
Good run there by Andries Low. Keeps coming left via van Niekerk. Now, good little switch here. Zander Strauss. And bundled there into touch.
bit lateral on that occasion was Paarl Gim. Hard runners running straight lines. Everybody's just drifting across. Easy to defend that if you're going to use the line, in which they do, Helpmekaar.
Yeah. By the time Tyron Ross had gone to the ball, he effectively had run out of space there. Lovely short man line out there employed by Helpmekaar.
Solid hit.
Massive hit. And you see this individual tackling again here by Paarl, not committing numbers to the ruck. One chaser here for Helpmekaar. Skippers here, Monet Skippers, what can he do? That's a decent territorial kick there. He plays his teammates onside. Where does this ball bounce? Another thumping tackle here. The boys are here to play, aren't they? Forwards lining up on this near side here. Looking for territory there. Paarl Gim. Good stop there by Tyron Ross.
Yeah, and something we haven't seen throughout the day is kicking and how you kick. A lot of teams are just hoofing the ball down the ground, and what you're seeing is territorial gains that they're trying to get. Not kicking long balls, but to infringe such.
Fortunate there by the left winger, Janse Ace. Backwards says that ball went to referee. Almost stopped playing for a second there. It's tough to come out here. Attempting to counter ruck. That ball's going to stay in favor there of Paarl Gim. Fortuitous almost. He'll be breathing a deep sigh of relief, I'm sure. Winding down here to halftime. It's been interesting. It's been all over the place. They've taken the opportunities of Helpmekaar. They've come in drips and drabs, but they've made the most of them, certainly. A brace from Labaskachny separating the two sides.
Crouch. Fine. Sit.
Good scrum once again. Here come Paarl Gim straight through the middle. Going for a slippery slide on the turf there. Has a bit of a show and go. Draws in three defenders. Ripped in the tackle. It's a great rip. Great rip there by Enrique Jacobs.
Yeah, a couple of times now Paarl Gim have lost the ball in contact. So there's a physical contest that we were anticipating, and now, right now, Helpmekaar right on top. Yeah, not the scoreboard, but in terms of that collision, Helpmekaar just got the edge at the moment over Paarl Gim.
Showing some real guts here, Helpmekaar. I think coming into this game, it would be easy for us to assume that Paarl will be all over them. But from the big hits to the tackle, they've really faced up and they've really been in their faces. Has a bit of a slip there, Jordan, but his kick does see its way out of touch there.
Yeah, you always want to stake a claim when you're playing one of the powerhouses in the country, and Paarl Gim is one of those powerhouses, and it almost just lifts your game, it elevates your game.
Butter.
Timing not quite there from his jumpers.
Forward off Helpmekaar. Happy to play the advantage of Paarl Gim. Box kick now. Chasing is Ross. And a clatter of bodies there. Jeez.
It was accidental. Scrum. Half time.
Brings a close to the first half. Does Mr. Swart. It is Paarl Gim that lead by 6 points. 12-6 the score here. Boys will head to the shed. A couple of instructions I'm sure will be ensued to them. We'll take a break and we'll see you shortly after this.
Sometimes when I come home, I wonder what I would say to my younger self. Maybe I would say, ungenayonga yona kid inhle okanye ibhadlileyo. Ndakubona intwana ezimiseleyo. Kodwa qina, qhubeka ufunda, qhubeka udlala, qhubeka ukholelwa. Ngenye imini ukukhanya kuzokufumana.
Barloworld Toyota Menlyn nou groter en beter. Ons het geskuif, nou oorkant Menlyn Main Pretoria. Jou nommer 1 handelaar vir nuwe en gebruikte motors, dienste en parte. Skakel ons gerus by 012 995 1700.
Six, the halftime score here. Paarl Gim in the lead, but it's been an end-to-end game in the first half. Stepping up to heed the call have been Helpmekaar, by no means out of this contest. It's been a mixture of weather here throughout the day, but the rain gave us a bit of respite a little bit earlier this morning. The sun has been shy, it's come out a couple of times, but it hasn't stopped the action on the ground. Paarl Gim with a beautifully worked ball here to open up the center there. Ferdy Labaskachne. He did well to fend off a couple of players going in for the corner there for their first try of the game. Again receiving a penalty deep inside the opposition territory. A quick tap and a well-worked move around the outside. Saw Labaskachne dot down for his second there. Since then, Helpmekaar have really done a good job in terms of meeting their men, driving them back, hard-hitting tackles. Let's hope they improve in the same fashion. Almost impossible to identify some of the players because they've had their fair share in the pigsty there on the cricket pitch.
I'll tell you who won't be happy. The guy who's responsible for the cricket pitch. However, he's got a couple of months until the next summer.
Yeah, the grounds manager here at Afrikaanse Seuns World School, he'll have a big task at the end of this festival. But like you said, yeah, still quite a bit away from the summer season. And so plenty more rugby. Hopefully, if the national lockdown stays as it is, hopefully lots more rugby to be played on this field and throughout the country. In terms of schoolboy sport, it's really been missed.
I think everybody's just happy to see them play. You know, there's just been a general frustration of seeing sport, live sport, and fans going to the stadium. But I think everybody's just generally happy to see any form of sport, and particularly kids playing.
Certainly so. Let's see now. Here come Paarl Gim. And fantastically done there. Really well done there by Helpmekaar. Tails are up here. They're really firing pretty much picking up from where they left off towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, it's those decisions that we questioned, whether to go for the poles or opt for the line to get themselves ahead. But certainly in terms of play, they really bossed that first half.
And in the excitement, they failed to get the ball out. So ball back to Paarl Gim. There's the new man again. Doing really well to meet them are Helpmekaar.
Bata in
brilliant.
the thick of things. That's another turnover in the space of 2 minutes. Oh, Helpmekaar.
Tells her up here, Helpmekaar. Psychologically, that'll be a good win for them.
Especially after losing out on that option they were trying to find there on the touch side.
Captain.
There he is, Mbata, on his legs, straight up there. I did mention the fact that he came on for the first team a couple of nights ago, and he was a flanker for the first team side, so he is able to double up in between the hooker there, and you could see just that strength there from him. Awesome stuff to see.
Oh,
12 points to 6 still.
That's the modern day hooker, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. As another loose head, or rather a loose tree, I beg your pardon.
Augustin Creevy, Malcolm Marks, Dan Coles.
Bismarck.
Benchmark that. That's
Bismarck
a proper
Duplessis.
benchmark that. Not just a hooker. Gotta offer something else.
Jordan here. Sanity prevailing. I mean, he had a penalty in a similar position on the other side, and
which could have changed the game at this stage.
We won't go into what he did and why, but we're back here with what looks a certain 3 points. And flags are up. So we're inching ever closer to that score. It's now 12 points to 9, just 3 points in it. The trick here for Helpmekaar, though, is that kick receipt, isn't it?
And you almost hope on their side, Helpmekaar, that eventually they do add on in terms of tries to the efforts of the boot that they've had up until now, which has really kept them in short distance from Paarl Gim. Some changes being made.
Right, let's see here. Jacobs is going to the number 14, the right winger. And in comes Steyn, and he will play in the inside center position for Helpmekaar. And immediately called upon. Now, what can Paarl Gim master up here? Skipper's having to clean up a bit. He's got good support players there with him. And thanks to good pressure, that ball was directly out, so they'll come back for a line out there.
Yeah, much to the criticism in the way in which he continued with the box kick after Clark at the World Cup. You almost look at schoolboy rugby just today on its own, the employment of that box kick and the accuracy of it, and how much of it is encouraged by the coaches. We've seen a lot of it up until now. And it's such a huge part of the game when you then go back and analyze why the Springboks were kicking, why particularly Faf de Klerk was continuing with those box kicks. In the end, it proved very profitable for the Springboks.
Free kick in the way of Helpmekaar. Here they come now. Good position in the center of the field. Everybody to the right-hand side. Good run there by Jaden Oosthuizen. He's brought down. Jordan just marshalling his troops there at first receiver. No man's land, that ball goes. Eventually it is cleaned up. Hey, Mbata takes on the responsibility of carrying that one. Jordan, and here's the new man Steyn. putting together the phases of Helpmekaar, but going nowhere. And that is great work on the ground there by Paarl Gim.
Yeah, so what happens when you're trying to penetrate, you always look to be the one, to be the enforcer. And often at times you isolate yourself, and that's what happened there. Quick onto that ball with Paarl Gim to turn it over. I'm not sure.
I'm sure you would have liked a bit more distance there, yeah. Another change here coming on as we see. Look at that. Double man over the ball there.
Ground.
Almost saying, Butter, you think you can do it, I can do. And it's a hooker nonetheless there as well. Jean Fourie, man that stole that ball there. So number 6 will come off Bosch, and he'll be replaced by Jaden Fenter.
Lovely take.
Good maul from him there. Still rumbling, still going. Into the 22 they go. Not too certain who's in possession of the ball. It's all muddled up in there. Eventually does come out. Pot set up in the center of the field. Right, still comes left now. Andries Low. Still in possession there. Good hands.
Yeah, needed a bit more accuracy there to try and set it up for the change in direction on the short side.
Stay.
This reminds me of playing a couple stump on Tuesday practice on the rugby field.
Everybody hated Tuesday practice.
Just a messy mud bath everywhere there. Yeah, referee's going to have a talk here. It may have well gone past the horizontal. He's just going to confirm with his assistant.
Op sy skouer? Okay. Captain, okay. Dangerous tackle. Okay, lifted the player through the horizontal. Okay, the player landed on his shoulder. Okay, that's dangerous. That's yellow card.
Yeah. I've really loved the way, I know we keep saying it, but you know, credit where credit is due. We'll see just in this replay here. Here it goes. He does go past horizontal. He's assisted by the jersey number 19 there.
So they got the wrong man, don't they?
No, they got the right one. And Butt was a captain that was being spoken to on behalf of the players there. So I was just saying, Mr. Swart there, and really the refereeing unit, just double checking with his assistant, and he asked him, you know, from your picture, what did you see? So the communication and the workings together of all the officials here has really been superb and in the best interest of the game.
Paarl Gim looking to attack.
Advantage being played here. Some awesome handling considering the conditions. Now, here we go. Oh, just misses the player there. It does, however, land up in the hands of Loki van Niekerk. Was running a dummy line there, was Ferdi Labaskarne.
Being done by the drift pass by the back line in this Paarl Gim side. Van Niekerk really just timing his run on the outside. It was a weighted pass. It's that work they do right in the middle of the park. It's those forwards, those pick-up and drives, not over-committing. There it is, the drift pass, the chicken pass. And it's about quick hands. And the speedster out in the corner for Paarl Gim.
I was just saying, some superb handling of the ball considering the not so lacquer conditions are out there. So they did a really nice job. The availability of the pass, knowing where the players were. The straightening also, you know, you talk about the drift pass, but it's also easy enough for me to drift myself and shut out the space for my teammates. I don't think that'll swirl around, it won't. So the scores here will stay at 17 points to 9.
Maybe Helpmekaar just need to be reminded that they're not going to win the match with the boot of Jordan. They're going to have to impose themselves. They're going to have to put themselves in good positions and try and work those mauls, those pick-up and drives from the forwards.
They will have to do it with 14 men, however, for the near future. Anybody's ball. Picked up here, Paarl Gim. Straight back onto the attack here. That was touched there, so I would like to think that it is a Paarl Gim ball. We'll see what the officials say. Yep, there's the assistant there pointing in favor of them. They just need to be careful that offside line there. You know, as they charge down that box kick, they're eerily close to that offside line. We'll see now with Farid to feed. He's been successful in his lineouts thus far. Does an amazing job again.
The lineouts have been really excellent.
Luan Puerta has been the go-to man there. Yeah, they rumble. Ball let out quickly now. Clutter of bodies there in the center of the field. Now, space on the outside here. Now, here comes Monet Skippers. Hands it over there to Tyron Ross. I was about to say, does really well to stay inside. And the flags go up there. He had very little space to work with.
He's been starved with the ball out wide. It's really been a tight game right in the middle of the park. So any opportunity out wide to sniff the ball, you just want to open those burners. Bata.
Good throw there by him.
Looking for an exit strategy now, Paarl Gim. When done right, it looks good.
Safety first for Jordan. Eager to come on. That reserve flanker is up already and just getting his body nice and warm, which also is vital. I mean, it is a bit nippy out there. It's important for you to get a good stretch and get through the legs. Get the legs going. You'll most likely be on in the next passage of play. Technical table just below us here. I've signaled in that, yeah, naughty corner done for you. Another great take there by Puerta. It's been very well executed, this maul thus far this game. And this one may well be the best of all of them. That was quite clear from the referee. It still is rumbling on there. It may well be over the line. And
penalty
referee wasting no time in awarding the penalty try there. And rightly so.
It's the basics of the game. If you cover the basics of the game becomes slightly easier. It was a line-out. We've been talking about how brilliant the line-outs are.
Captain, that's cynical.
Explain.
Try would have been scored. Off you go.
Oh, the captain has to come sit. Takes one for the team. Very cynical. He had warned them, had spoken to the captain.
Interesting that, and perhaps you can assist me here, Six. A yellow card and a penalty try. Often you'll see referees do one or the other.
Yeah.
You know, they'll either give the yellow card and give the penalty where the spot is, or they'll immediately go to the penalty try position. So very interesting, the decision there. And by no means saying it's a wrong one. I've just never seen that before.
Yeah.
Often referees resort to one or the other and say, you know what, let the kids play, man.
Particularly at schoolboy level.
Yeah. So, flank one on for Helpmekaar and one immediately off. So they're still at 14 men. And Bata, the captain, clutter of bodies there. Getting more and more difficult to identify numbers here as everybody's had their fair share on that cricket pitch. Slowly through the hands here. In control of it now is Arendorf. He has a short little snipe. Jordan leaves the man and the ball behind him.
They're just standing slightly deep in the second half, Helpmekaar, not being able to get those runners to get over the advantage line. And what Helpmekaar has done, they've opted for that rush defense slightly just to cut out those running options for them.
Kind of simmered down the pace and the tempo of the game. I mean, the first half was quite electric. And both sides now just taking it down a notch.
Sorry, Carol's eyes bietjie skeef. Captain.
Skew throw, says the referee. Just
Scrum
want to
of
give him an option.
I think from a Paarl Gim's point of view, at this stage, with about 14 or so minutes remaining, it's all about game management, and that's what the coach will try and get them to do. Those small little parts of the game in trying to close off the game. Those the experience we're talking about for some of these youngsters.
So there's a stoppage here. You'll remember Mbata is off, so the scrum cannot continue. They need the replacement hooker to come off, so someone is going to have to take one for the team.
Ek dink een van julle backs gaan af.
Jy dink reg, meneer. Right, who's taking one for the team here? Now again, just in terms of schoolboy rugby, because there's 7 people there in the scrum, the opposite team as well as to have 7. So unlike in professional sport where, yeah, you can well scrum 8 against 7. Here, just from a safety perspective, so you'll have heard the referee ask the 8th man from Paarl Gim's side just to retreat out of the scrum there. So pretty decent for a 7-on-7 man scrum. Little dab ahead here for Paarl Gim. Gathers nicely and slips one tackle. Does Kevin Geldenhuys. Runners are plenty here. Shrugs one off, shrugs another. Taken down by a 3rd.
Has to be quick.
Now, Jordan spots some space. Well covered. Lovely little step there. Jeez. It's a great little step from the little man.
Cheeky pass, followed by a proper handoff. Oh, that's dangerous.
And once again, it's a 2nd time the same person has done that. That's silly. I'm sorry. That is really poor. He's just come onto the park. He went off for a yellow card for a tip tackle, and this one, honestly speaking, is almost worse than the first one. Really poor. Really, really poor.
Van jou kant af wat jy miskien by my gesien het.
Ek het presies gesien wat jy gesien het. Hy het hom verby.
Ja, same player.
Could almost be a straight red, not even a second yellow. Could almost be a straight red if the ref really liked.
Nee, dis nie deur die 190 nie. Dis deur die 100, is through 180 degrees. Okay? So dis deur die horisontaal gewees. So deur die horisontaal is, jy die speler weer op die rug, hoog rug, skouer neergesit. Daarvoor is dit weer geel kaart en dit dra hom in 'n rooi kaart.
Yeah.
Ja,
clear and succinct there. You'll see it here. Here he is. He lifts him, takes him over. So why he's complaining, Lord only knows, but that's really dangerous. And we don't need that kind of player at all. So fortunately, player wasn't too adversely affected and injured there. So they'll be back to 14 men for the rest of the encounter. Helpmekaar really not helping their own cause. They're at 13 men at the moment. Remember, Mbata still out for a yellow card. His time is almost up, but certainly not helping themselves or Helpmekaar here. Now, Buerta. Jeez, he's been good in those lineouts. Now, the rumbling maul here. Jean Fourie. Good control of the maul. He's staying attached to that one there. Now, let's see. Space is opening up here. Unfortunately, just dropping it in front.
Yeah,
better discipline by Helpmekaar not to collapse that maul.
Yeah, and on their side, Paarl Gim didn't quite get that driving maul they got in the first half. The first half, it was very dominant. There was a lot of power and fresh legs in the first half, that is. But on that occasion, it was slightly just not as tight-knit as it were in the first half. And they were able to get those 20 meters at one point to get themselves over the line.
Yeah, credit also to Helpmekaar in that instance. I mean, they did very well to disrupt them all and disrupt the momentum within the laws of the game, of course. Bata's made his way back onto the park, and so has the 8th man that had to take one for the team. So we're at full complement now. It's at scrum time.
Let's go back to that red card. I think it's a worthy sanction because not only it reminds the player himself, but those around him of the importance of player safety. Refs are always talking about player safety, and I think responsibility starts with the player sometimes.
Certainly so. Lovely fend off there. Throws a wild pass onto the outside there. And coming back to your point of the red card, I just have to consult my rule book in terms of the festival rules, but if I'm not mistaken, he'll certainly sit out his next game. Will take no part, of course, in this game and the next.
And so one may argue that, yeah, it's kids, let them play. You know, a yellow card is a worthy sanction. But it's the message sent that refs are always looking out for players, and therefore players themselves need to look after each other.
Often these schools take these sanctions back to their own schools. You know, you'll often find a report will go back to the school, and the school themselves have got their own disciplinary procedures, should it be deemed necessary. Just again instilling to the players the importance of player safety and the importance of self and team discipline. Not giving up though are Helpmekaar. I think they've just about done enough. Have Paarl Gim with a couple of minutes still to go here.
They just didn't have that bite, did they, Helpmekaar?
Yeah. Showed glimpses, but have been well in control here, as we see here. Mone Skippers taking the ball up. Got to support to the body weight there. Pleading with him as a referee, really doesn't want to send off anybody else from Helpmekaar. Does really well to stay on his feet as a try scorer there, Ferdi Labaskachne. Now it's Luan Puerta. Certainly has put up his hand for the wintergreen man of the match, as Luan Puerta, as well as a couple of others here in the Paarl Gim side. Jean Fourie at hook has had an amazing game. He's really done well. Lockie van Niekerk has been controlling the backs and the forwards, got himself a try early in the second half as it started here. Skippers as well on clean-up duty. He's really had a good sweeper role at the back there.
And by the looks of it and how they played this afternoon, they quite evidently rely heavily on the boot of Jordan. And he got them 9 points. But thereafter, what else? You know, he was able to put them in good positions.
Yeah.
But they didn't quite come out on top with any driving maul or put Paarl Gim under pressure, particularly on top of that 5 meter.
It's a good collapse this time. Use it, says the referee. Good charge, Sander Strauss. Now, Andries Low. Now, here we go, yep. Easy through the hands. And once again, Loki van Niekerk gets his brace. Shifted onto the wing position there. And all he's had to do is receive the ball and dot it into the corner there. So lovely worked move there. Good to see that even though the ball was disrupted, didn't panic. Paarl Gim just took it through the hands and the faces. And
they weren't greedy in trying to get the ball out wide quickly. A couple of touches that were necessary in that play to try and suck in 1 or 2 defenders to create the space out wide. And in the end, a beautiful walkover for the scrum off.
Again, Helpmekaar just needing to work on that shift defense.
They are a man down.
Fair. Hanekom just hasn't had his kicking boots on today. Matters not though, the men around him have really rallied and played well, and scoreboard is reflectant of that.
Yeah, shoulders are down. Helpmekaar. For the better part of this match, they were in touching distance for a better part of this game. And you felt Paarl Gim, if they add on one more try, then they chase in the game, Helpmekaar. And once you chase the game, there's all sorts of infringements.
Yeah.
Some players get hot-headed, like we've seen in the results. They've conceded a red card.
First of the tournament this week. Ball available here for Helpmekaar. Really just playing for pride now. Couple of minutes left in this encounter here. Big tackle.
And it looks like they were trying to employ almost that test match feel where when opportunity comes of a penalty in your half, we'll go for the 3 points, and then somewhere we'll find a try. And once you resign to that in waiting and waiting for that opportunity, you can find yourself chasing the game.
Now let's see if Helpmekaar can get a score here very late in this game.
Nice and easy, nice and easy. Crouch. Fine.
Very resolute, this management team here from Paarl Gim. Never once panicked the entire game. Everybody just very calm and casual. As we see another wayward pass from Helpmekaar.
Yeah, the move was there. In two minds, static in their approach. It needed to be a flat-out pass with runners running flat hard. Just in two minds there. Not sure whether to give it to the dummy runner or go for the long pass out wide. Another opportunity goes begging for Helpmekaar.
Now, how much juice do Paarl have in them? Can they make it 80 meters across the field? The scrum needs to go their way first. Tick. Now, continuation of the ball. He's got players on his outside. If he can just get it to the players there. Doesn't manage to do so, but it is available, the ball. Here come the runners now. Big Andries low. He does well. To the short side they go. Tempted intercept, but good handling there.
Tell you what, we've struggled with the jerseys. The players have kept well with it.
Yeah. Still going. It's a try scorer there, old Ferdi Labaskachny. Good receiving there by Marcus Jansen van Vieren. Now, swung out wide here. Good carries. Look how many meters they make every time they run with the ball. This is really positive stuff here from Paarl. Now, through the hands here. It's Morné Skeepers. Morné Skeepers hands it over. And for his hat-trick of tries, Loki van Niekerk, look at the smile on his face.
Well, you asked
Brilliant
for 80 minutes, didn't you? You asked for 80 meters. One last push from Paarl Gim from the 5-meter line. It was the carries down the middle from the forwards. One on screen at the moment now, bustling through.
But how clinical was that? Nobody panicked. Everybody knew their role. The setup was good. The halfback had enough players. The running on, the handling, absolutely superb. Textbook stuff here.
Oh, it really is. It really is. That chicken pass has really been profitable for them.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and I wouldn't blame him. And yeah, there we picked it. Luan Buerta, the wintergreen man of the match. The big lock forward there. 100% success rate in the air. Good strong carries. He really drove that maul well. Was the leader there. Line out caller as well. Hasn't stopped working from the first whistle and thoroughly deserving the wintergreen man of the match, Luan Buerta. There he is again, even in the dying seconds of the game here, in the thick of things. Now here comes the ball here. Have they got one more left in them? Sit down, says Labaskachny. Running around there's Tyron Ross. Good running there, Jansen van Vieren. Ball makes its way wide. There's Buerta showing a clean pair of heels here as Johan Buerta has a bit of a show and go. He needs support from his fellow teammates. It does come. Now ball going left. Andries Low, another big forward that's had a good game. Backwards play on, says the ref. Unfortunately, just having to drop it there. And that's all she wrote, folks, at the Barloworld Toyota North-South Rugby Festival. Paarl Gim in charge from the first minute until the very last one. tries coming in frequently. Good carries from the team there. A well-oiled machine. Helpmekaar within touching distance on a couple of occasions throughout this encounter here, just not having the edge over Paarl Gim. Final score, Paarl Gim 34, Helpmekaar 9.